Welcome back to the warm up the show where we keep it light, we keep it warm all the time talking about basketball. I'm your host, Jake Palmer. If you are watching on our YouTube, shout out all the viewers who can see me. I'm waving my hands and stuff like this in the air. If not, this is the first episode of the podcast. So if you're listening to the podcast, shout out. We got podcasts on Apple Music, Spotify. Listen on YouTube. Let me know what you're listening on. Give a 5-star rating or comment if you're watching this live. But I'm going to start a podcast. I'll start a weekly show. I'm starting to stream 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, just in the mornings, just for fun, kind of catch up and stuff. But want to do a weekly show, end of the week on Saturdays, talking about a bunch of stuff. So this week, we are about 2-3 weeks into the NBA season, and today I'm going to give my way too early NBA awards. It's like, why not? And there's a lot of good reasons to do this at this time. Right now, I'm just going to start it off hot. MVP, Nikola Jokic. Nikola Jokic, he's been going crazy. If you watch the Contenders and Pretenders series I did over the summer, where I covered all 30 teams in about 10 weeks, crazy, one of the craziest things I've done on this channel. Freaking awesome. I talk about the Denver Nuggets not being very, very good. Actually being very bad. Because of Jokic, I said if Jokic does not have an insane career season, they are not going to amount to jack squat. Like, straight up. And he is. He's having a great season. But to talk about who else is in the MVP conversation? We got NBA, the NBA.com has Jokic at number 1, Tatum at 2, KD at 3, Shea at number 4, AD at number 5. Pretty respectable list. Basketball Reference, they've got a bunch of percentages and stuff like that. It's really interesting to look at it. You can go check it out. They have Jokic number 1. I believe it's 76% at the moment. Tatum at number 2, Shea at number 3, Anthony Davis number 4, and Darius Garland number 5. It's interesting that they have Darius Garland as the MVP candidate from the Cavs, representing the Cavs, over Donovan Mitchell. Very interesting to look at that. And then Bleacher Report just had one more to check out. Jokic at number 1, Shea number 2, AD number 3, Tatum at number 4, and KD at number 5. So a lot of the same guys in there. It's going to be Jokic, Tatum, Shea, AD's getting some things. KD's there a couple times. Darius Garland was there once. And I basically made a graphic and kind of a table, a scoring system, if you will, to showcase how much of a gap there is in this MVP conversation currently. And if you basically get a point for the position you're at. So if you're in first place, you got a point. It's like golf. If you want the lower score. So Jokic had 3 points because he came in first place out of the 3 that I picked. And honestly, I didn't find too many others that were like legit. A lot of them were just predictions because nobody really has like an updated MVP standings 3 weeks into the season. Granted, that's true. So Jokic came in number 1 in terms of the scoring, right? Tatum came in number 2, Shea number 3, AD at number 4, and then KD and Garland were both like here and there on some of the lists, not some of them, right? But Jokic he's just running away with this. I just wanted to showcase that because it does a good job at telling a good story at like, wow, Jokic really does have a lot of people's attention. Not a lot of votes at the moment because we don't need to cast votes 2-3 weeks into the season out of an 82-game season. But he does have everyone's attention. And that's what matters right now. So who is missing from this conversation? We're going to talk about Jokic in a little bit. We could talk about him for hours and what he's doing. But who is missing from the situation? Luka Doncic, who is having he's not having a bad season, but he's not having a career season. I'll say that. So, Luka this year is averaging 28, 8, and 8, which is like, holy crap. How can you say he's having a bad season averaging 28 and 8? We'll get to it. He's averaging 43% from the field, so not very good at all, and 32% from 3. Not very good. Now, the reason he's having a bad year so far is because for his career, he's averaged 29, 9, and 9 on 47% from the field, 35% from 3 on 9 attempts. And so, once again, career 29, 9, and 8, 47, 35. This year, 28, 8, and 8, 43, 32. So, it's just a little bit under, like one notch under in every category. And we were expecting Luka Doncic to step up and really ball out. He went to the finals last year, carried his team to the NBA finals, lost the Celtics in the finals, but scorched everyone in the Western Conference, including my Los Angeles Clippers, which was kind of trash, but they scorched everyone else. So we weren't the only team. Good to say that. So he's below his average across the board. His team is hanging around 500, so not dominating. That's basically it. I mean, I was expecting him to really ball out. Is there more of a season? Yes. Are they starting out like the Sixers? No. Are they 7-7? Yeah. At the terms of this recording, they're 7-7. They're just around. I'm going to say around 500. Whenever you listen to this, they were around 500 at the time of this recording. So not crazy. And you compare that to Jokic, you compare that to Tatum, you compare that to AD, what AD's doing, and you just can't really have Luka in the same conversations as those guys at the moment. Who else needs to be here? That's who I think everyone generally is looking at in terms of who's missing. In terms of who I think needs to be in this conversation, Stephen Curry, dude. Why is Stephen Curry nowhere in this MVP conversation? I mean, Steph is currently averaging the least amount of minutes since 2012. So I think the reason why he's not here is because, I mean, it's hard to put up numbers when you're putting up the least amount of minutes in over a decade. Unless he gets crazy efficient. He's averaging 23 points. There's this graphic I saw. I'll throw it up on screen if you're on YouTube. But basically, Norman Powell had a better, 4 more points and better shooting efficiency than Stephen Curry this year. That's just because Stephen Curry's averaging 29 minutes a game, I think. Not even 30 minutes a game. So that's why I think Steph is not in this conversation, is just because of they have 13 guys going crazy. And something's got to change. If Steph Curry gets more minutes and then continues to do well and his team does very well, then we can start putting him in. But I think the reason he's not here is because he's under 30 minutes a game. Not scoring more than 25 points. I think he's averaging 23 points a game. So not crazy. He's taking 2 less threes a game, 3 less shots. That's gonna put some a damper on how many points per game you score. Not that that's everything. His team they were number 1 in the West for a couple days here, and they're in the top 3. They are number 2, I believe. They're number 2 right now. Back and forth with OKC. So Stephen Curry, keep him on the watch because he has been balling out. I mean, if you watch that Mavericks Warriors game, probably the biggest game of the season so far for the Warriors specifically, Stephen Curry balled out. I mean, he went crazy against Clay at home in season tournament. I had the Golden State Warriors as one of the top teams in Emirates Cup this year, just because I think it's Steph. We watched him in the Olympics, and man, that guy can play some freaking basketball. So all I will say is the Clippers are the only team that has beaten the Warriors twice. They are, I believe, 10-3 at the time of this recording. I don't remember who the other loss was to, but the Clippers have beat them twice. One in Golden State, one in LA. Shout out. No Kawhi Leonard. We're still good. That's a topic for a different day. But let's go back to Jokic. So Jokic, clear number 1 right now, has everyone's attention. Last week he was 91% chance to win the award because he was balling out. This week he dipped down to 71%. So for the first 3 weeks of the season, Nikola Jokic is averaging 30 points, 14 rebounds, and 11 assists. So career highs for him in all of those categories. He's never sniffed anywhere near 30 points per game. He's averaging that right now while averaging a career high in rebounds and assists. So you could say what you want about that's not impressive, do it for the whole season. I want to take the time to relish in this, bro, because it has been 15 to 20 games, and anybody who can average this, a career high in points, rebounds, and assists, and get triple doubles every single night, basically, for 20 games, that's a quarter of the season. That's impressive. So he's shooting a little bit more, keeping the efficiency basically the same. In my opinion, he's had less help than he's had in the past. Obviously, if you've seen that Nuggets video, I talk about they lost KCP, they lost Bruce Brown 2 years ago. De'Ron Holmes, their first round draft pick, my buddy, he got hurt, tore his Achilles, so he's gone. You sign Russell Westbrook, and it's like, what are we doing? Is this going to help? Jamal Murray's been Aaron Gordon's out. Now we got to play Julian Strawther, Peyton Watson, who are great players. But, like, Jokic is in the prime of his career. Why are we not throwing talent? Why are we not just tossing money at people to come play? Like, honestly, like people are with LeBron and the Lakers. What are we doing, Nuggets front office? A video for a different day. But he's turned up nonetheless. I mean, he grew that beard out, and he's locked the freak in. It's really crazy. So the best way I can describe it is that he's just turned up. He turned all of his stats up. The Nuggets are top 5 in the West. I think 4th, maybe 5th. It fluctuates. People question his love for the game, but you just do not do this as like a second job or like I know everyone's like, oh, his horses. That's cool, but you don't just come out and average 30, 14, and 11 and you're like a horse racer as your mate. No. You come out and this is what you do. If you're trying to win a 4th MVP, which would put you in the upper echelon of actual GOAT status players. And I'm not talking like people who have 3. Moses Malone had 3. That's cool. Larry Bird had 3. Really cool, right? Magic had 3. Awesome. Guys who have 4 MVPs. LeBron has 4. Jordan has 5. I think Wilt has... Who's Wilt have? I know Russell has 5. And I know Kareem has 6. Leads all-time NBA, everything. 6 MVPs. No one else has 6 MVPs. Those are the only guys that have 4 or more. And Nikola Jokic, if he wins it this season, we are going to have some very interesting discussion as an NBA community and a fan base about where we put him because he has to go top 10. If you win 4 MVPs and you do it in the way that you're doing it, especially when no one expected you to win the 4th one, that narrative has to be that you are top 10. Especially when you have a ring. You've won before. You've got a Finals MVP. Is it your fault that the front office is not putting people around? He literally has no help. There's no one on that team that's going to help him win another ring, especially against the rising stars in the West. Wemby's there. Ant. Luka just went to the finals. Shea and the Thunder are going to be there for 30 years. Ja. LeBron and AD are still balling out. Who knows when Kawhi comes back and he's going to come out and ball out. It's getting sketchy out in the West, so I'm just shocked that the Nuggets are not throwing everything in the kitchen sink at this team. Just like, hey, everyone come play here. Let's roll. They have bare bones nothing, bro. It's actually crazy. So that's why I want to talk about this, because Nikola Jokic doing this is unprecedented, and I hope he can keep doing it. Even though, let me get this straight. Just because I said I didn't think that they were going to do well in the preseason, doesn't mean that I don't want them to do it. Watching Jokic do this is crazy. Like, it is awesome. I love watching games. Clippers also beat the Nuggets in Denver, by the way. So, talk to them. Really quick. No one has ever led the league in assists and rebounds at the same time. He's doing that right now. So, that's amazing. He's a center. Like, let's not gloss over the fact that, it's Nikola Jokic. He can do this, so it's expected. He's 7 feet tall, bro. He is a center leading the league in rebounds and assists. If he does that and he averages 30 points, which he might not lead the league in scoring, but I don't think that's what he's going to do. If he has a new career high in scoring and leads the league in rebounds and assists at the same time as a center, the 4th MVP is coming for you, brother. I don't know what else you can do. That might be one of the most impressive single season feats that I've ever seen. And I watched Russell Westbrook average a triple-double. I was there for that, right? Crazy. Not to mention that Jokic has never averaged 10 assists a game in his career. It's always like 9.7, 9.6. Look it up. Never averaged 10 assists for an entire season. And right now he's averaging 11. So if he is just turned up. So Nikola Jokic right now, 11/21 is on a Thursday. I'm recording this. He is my pick for MVP. Undisputed right now. It can change. It will change. We'll do this every 20 games or so, just because. Why not? But right now, give the MVP to Nikola Jokic. Moving on, Rookie of the Year. This is a very interesting one because I feel like Rookie of the Year, depending on the draft class, is always it's one of two options. One, it's the top 3 guys that race for it, like in Paolo. Those guys are like LaMelo and Ant, right? It's always the top 3 guys that go for and race for it, or it's all of the sleeper star picks in the late lottery, late first round that go for it. The latter is what's going on right now. We got Jared McCain and Dalton Knecht basically fighting for it, and Zach Edey. I'd say Zach Edey is definitely in that mix, but even though he went lottery. Everyone was kind of shocked that he went lottery. He definitely should have gone lottery, 100%. I was shocked at it. I saw a bunch of big boards and people were like, he's not going lottery. I'm like, why? So based on the expectations of the league, the fact that Zach Edey is in this proves our sentiment that he should have gone in the lottery. So good job for the Grizzlies for picking him up. But I just want to hop into this right now, bro. Jared McCain is my pick for MVP. And even though 2 days ago, Dalton Knecht just hit 9 3-pointers a game, scored 37 points as a rookie, I am still picking Jared McCain because I need to see more of that from Dalton Knecht. I know Dalton Knecht. I mean, I think he had 45 in the preseason. Like, we've seen it from this dude. He's going to ball out. He's a great pick. If you pick him as a rookie of the year, I'm not complaining. I get both sides, 100%. But Jared McCain, what is he doing? Last 5 games, he's averaging 27 points per game, and he's averaging 15 points per game, on the season. So already more impressive since thus far, no one in the top 5 is really making a difference. And if anyone from the top 5 is really making a difference, it's like Zachary Ricochet, who's he's been playing very, very well. And Stephon Castle, who went number 4, I believe, for the Spurs. He's playing very, very well as well. But Jared McCain, with the Sixers dumpster fire they got going on right now, and I just saw that PG posted a podcast talking about the players only meeting that they had, and I'm just like, I cannot believe this guy. Holy crap. Side note, I'm gonna talk about the Sixers for a sec. I saw something that said if you were gonna pay Paul George a max, if you feel comfortable paying Paul George a max, why were you uncomfortable giving James Harden what he wanted, which I don't think was a max, but if it was more than me, then it was a max. But why would you not give James Harden what he wanted rather than what PG wanted? Because James Harden shows maybe he did it he's a little bit of a diva in some cases, but NBA players are NBA players, with their money. And James Harden, he's averaging 20 and 10 right now for the Clippers. And he's doing it, and he's leading a team. So why would you not want a point guard that can do that? And you play Tyrese Maxey off ball, develop that a little bit more, give Embiid a guy who can run the point, because Tyrese Maxey is still kind of right, turning the ball over. But you feel comfortable giving PG $200 million until he's 38 years old? Interesting. And then you get this from him. He's going on a podcast talking about what's talked about in a players-only meeting with one of his teammates. A little bit interesting. Despite all that, I say all that to say that Jared McCain is balling out. Like I said, 27 points per game in the last 5 games, 15 points in the season. Who else is there? Dalton Knecht, like I just said, at 37 points. I know Jalen Wells is being talked about a lot, which is very, very interesting. Grizzlies pick, I think he was number 37. Pick number 37. Playing very, very well for him. But I like Jared McCain to win this award. I think it's great. I've followed him since high school. I would have never thought that he would have been a standout NBA player. But I guess he plays the same way that he has in college. We saw him go for 35 at Duke. That should have said something to us. We should have been like, ooh, interesting. And then in high school, he's just kind of a smaller guard. He reminds me of Kyle, his current teammate, Kyle Lowry, where he just is in all the right spots at the right time, plays good on defense, hits threes, doesn't make a ton of mistakes. You could slot him at the 2. I guess he's a good point guard, but sliding him at the 2 beside Tyrese Maxey would be awesome, because this dude he shoots catch and shoot threes all the time. I watch him, and he's just relocating, running around like Steph Curry, just catch and shoot. It's crazy. So Tyrese Maxey is a point guard, and even though McCain is a great athlete, and he's a point guard to an extent, his off ball is easily his greatest attribute. Is it crazy to think that he's a better shooter than Connect 4? Don't Connect. I wouldn't say that's crazy. Seriously, go watch this dude's highlights. You can go, I don't know if it's because I have League Pass or not, but you can go into the box score on NBA.com and click on field goals made, field goals attempted, 3-pointers, and all that stuff. And they show you the clips of every single shot. So go watch this dude. He moves very, very well. Dalton Knecht hit 9 threes, but it wasn't like he was running around like Klay Thompson. He basically just caught at the top of the key. I mean, when you got a spot, you got a spot as a shooter. Not that I'm a shooter. I can't shoot for the life of me. But I don't think it's crazy to say that Jared McCain is going to have a more increased role than a lot of rookies. And the production value is already great for a first-year player, for a guy who's played 3 weeks into the NBA. Averaging 27 points over the last 3 games. So that's my pick for rookie of the year right now. Give Rookie of the Year, I give it out to Jared McCain. DPOY. So this is a very interesting conversation because I did a poll of all this kind of stuff, a straw poll before the season. A bunch of people answered. I think I had 25 people answer it, friends, family, people from the channel and stuff. And 80% of those 25 said Victor Wembanyama is going to win Defensive Player of the Year. And that is who I'm going to give it to. However, if you have not watched Dyson Daniels, that guy is on a tear right now. Dyson Daniels was just given the nickname the Great Barrier Thief because he's from Australia, which is, first of all, an insane nickname. Like, what a pull. That is crazy. Great Barrier Thief? Holy crap. He's also averaging 3.4 steals per game, excuse me. Holy crap. Most steals averaged in a season from a player is 3.6 by Alvin Robertson in 86. So he's 0.2 steals off. Now he's got to do it for the whole season. But I'm just saying, he's like hitting the ceiling of like defensive mastermind. Now, I am still going to give it to Wemby. Wemby is averaging 3.7 blocks plus 1 steal per game. Plus, he's defending the inside, and he's just a phenomenal perimeter defender. That's why I don't think anybody will, like, barring injury, knocking on wood, because I love Wemby. Little French boy over here. I love Wemby, dude. It's going to be really hard for anyone to take that away from him going forward, because he can play defense on the perimeter. He can play defense on the inside, block shots. I've seen people his rookie year when people were like getting used to him. People were driving in the paint towards him and literally like 100% hit the blinker and did a U-turn all the way back out of the three multiple times. And I just like laugh because I'm like, that's crazy. You never see that happen, but I saw that happen multiple times to Wemby, including this year. The difference between Dyson Daniels and Wemby, Dyson Daniels averaging 3.4 steals, Wemby averaging 3.7 blocks. So both like really upper echelon of what they're doing, respectively, steals and blocks. The difference is it's a lot more realistic for Wemby to keep this going than for Dyson Daniels to keep what he's got going. Because Wemby averaged, I think, I should have wrote it down, 3.4 blocks last year. So other big players like Chet, basically ineligible for the award. Rudy Gobert is like cool, but I don't know if he's going to stack up. Also, once again, the people that I talked to, 80% of them, once again, said Wemby was going to win DPOY. So it's pretty much a lockup for that at that point. I mean, it comes down to Wemby actually being able to sustain it because we've seen it before. He's going to do it again. And he should have won it last year. He's going to win it this year. I think it's just kind of a lock. Narrative, he's going to win his first one. It's going to be good. And that's going to be that for that. So the last one, I was like debating on including this. I've got two more. I will say Coach of the Year is Kenny Atkinson, simply because if you start 15-0 and you like that's the second best win streak to start a season in NBA history. I'd be shocked if you don't win Coach of the Year off of that, because they're going to win an insane amount of games. They're on track. I mean, on track. They're on track to win 80 games if you're looking at like the percentage. You know, they've only lost one game, but they could realistically win 67 games, 65 to 67. That's not crazy to say. They would lose, how many would you, that 15? Lose 15 games? They lose 15 more games over the course of until April? That's 2-3 games a month. I can see that happening. Like honestly, they're very, very good. I'd be shocked if somebody else came out and had a better statement season than Kenny Atkinson did in his first year with the Cavs, 15-0 start. So it's going to be locked up. I think it's locked up right now, even though they lost, snapped the streak. Who's saying they can't go on another one? Like straight up, who says they can't go on another 15-0 run? So very interesting. Most improved player I wasn't really going to talk about just because it's but I did pick it just because Ivica Zubac, basically using a video game term, he got buffed all over the place, and he is improving in front of our eyes. As a Clippers fan, is it a little bit biased? Maybe, but let me show you why it's not biased. He's averaging more minutes, more field goals attempted, field goal made, points per game, assists per game, rebounds per game, and he kept the fouls at the same. So this is narrative. PG leaves. Clippers team's depleted. Kawhi gets injured and it had surgery or whatever. Team is depleted. Who can step up? First of all, Norman Powell, but I'm not going to give him most improved player because he's like 100, right? The freak. And Ivica Zubac. James Harden's averaging 20-10. Very, very good. Not most improved because he led the league in assists. And, Ivica Zubac is keeping the Clippers alive. I mean, he's balled out. He looks a lot better. He looks ready for the part. More points, more assists, more rebounds per game, same blocks, and keeping the fouls the same. When you increase in minutes and you keep your fouls the same, that's a guy you want on the court. So very, very quickly, just most improved player, go to Ivica Zubac. A lot of guys, they could have gotten it, but it's, once again, it's early to tell. So I'm just going to go with what's pretty obvious. And it's Ivica Zubac. So that's all I got for today. I'm very excited to keep this going forward. If you like the podcast and you like the live, I'm going to try and cut this up with a little segments and stuff like that. Talk to me about it. Tell me you like it. I think you leave a review. I'm going to try and do this every single week. I'm going to do this every single week because I like this format. I like doing extra thick, long topics. This one was a little bit shorter than I thought. It's about 28 minutes. So this is not the end of this episode, though, because you're going to love this, especially if you're on YouTube watching this. But if you're on the podcast, you can still listen. I did an interview with friends of the pod, Nash and Andrew, my brother and my buddy. Andrew has been a giant Michael Jordan fan, even though he's younger than me. So he's like, if I didn't watch Michael Jordan, he definitely didn't watch Michael Jordan. But he texted me the other day and said, that's it, LeBron's the GOAT. And I got that discussion with him and Nash. Nash is still in disbelief the entire time. But that should be another 10 minutes tacked on. So enjoy that. That's all I got for today from this main section. Streams Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Go hit the join button on the members. It's $2 a month for members-only content. I'm going to start pumping that a lot more frequently. Hey, I'm trying to do a 2K series at the same time. It's gonna be interesting. But videos on the channel, hopefully we can keep pushing them out. I'm hitting finals in the next week. Got holidays coming up, but I'm still gonna push it out for y'all. Trying to do one every single week because that's what I love to do. I want to do this for life, man. So that's all I got for today. Go enjoy that next segment. Leave a review. We out. Okay, welcome to a special edition of the podcast. First episode of the podcast. We're doing this because Andrew, buddy on the left here, texted. Avid Michael Jordan is the GOAT fan. And he texted me the other day and said, hey, just want to let you know LeBron is official. So we kind of had him on here as just kind of like a public announcement, like a PSA, if you will, of why Andrew thinks that LeBron is now the GOAT. And we're going to talk about it and talk about the GOAT debate, a bunch of different stuff. So, Andrew, floor is yours, homie. What you got?
All right, man. Thanks for having me. So basically, what I can say was I'm sitting here at my desk. I was trying to study for my exam, but I was like, screw study. I'm gonna go watch some YouTube. So I hop on YouTube. First video I see is 2009 LeBron James highlights, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna watch this. So I started watching, and I'm like, bro made me jump out of my seat and be like, oh, like it was pretty. It's pretty legit. So I'm like, is this guy the GOAT? Because from watching his 09 highlights to watching him now, plays the exact same way, minus like a little less passing and more shooting, but like driving the ball, still the exact same. He's just less explosive. And I'm like, okay, wait. He's almost 40. This is wild. And then I'm like looking, I'm like, 40,000 points, 10,000 rebounds, 10,000 assists. So I'm like, this guy might be the GOAT. So I finally had to swallow my pride and finally admitted that LeBron James is the GOAT. And Nash doesn't believe me that I believe this, but yeah.
I feel like a majority of the reason why you didn't want to convert earlier is because you could argue with me.
To be fair, bro, you've said some stupid stuff like Stephon Whiteside's going to be an all-star for first year in Portland, but we'll get it. That's not about today.
Hot takes are called hot for a reason, bro.
There you go. So, Nash, talk to me about why, personally, you agree with this statement and why this is big for Andrew.
For me personally, the way I look at it, for calling someone a GOAT, is that they're able to do all parts of basketball. I mean, we see LeBron can do every single part. He can pass.
Okay, but what part couldn't Michael Jordan do, though?
Okay,
Listen. I still believe LeBron's the GOAT, but let's not talk like Michael Jordan can't do everything. All right.
Dude, I know Andrew.
No, you're gonna make me flip sides, bro.
Andrew's such a see. This is the reason why he's a Michael Jordan fan.
No,
so
listen. I agree. Hey, no, I'm saying LeBron's the GOAT, but let's not get disrespectful.
And you didn't what? I said like 3 words, and then he started barking at me. Did he not?
Hey, run it back. Keep going, Nash.
I was gonna say that he's been able to do all of those things, like you did say. You said 40,000 points. That's insane. He's able to rebound like crazy, drop dimes always. He's always been able to do these things, and he's still doing it. He's so consistent. His IQ in basketball is just top level, and I think that's one of the biggest reasons why I think he's the GOAT. And that's just how it is. Exactly what Andrew was saying. That's how I see it too.
Bro literally created his own teammate.
Yeah, no, that's actually nuts. He should be a GOAT just for that. Like, that's crazy. Literally nuts. I think I told Andrew this when he was texting me about it. I was like, Colin Cowherd had a really good explanation of the GOAT debate on why they're both good. He's like, Michael Jordan is like Seinfeld that was there for 9 seasons, fire, great for 9 seasons, but LeBron's like Law and Order that has had 35 seasons and is just very, very good for 35 seasons. But the fact that it's going on for 35 seasons is insane. So higher peak, maybe you could talk about higher peak with Jordan, but going to 8 straight finals, that's kind of insane. For the only person, the 40,000, 10,000, 10,000 club, crazy. But Jordan did go 6-0 in the finals. People talk about that. There's a lot of different stuff with the East and what happened with him losing the first round and stuff like that. But that's why I'm kind of done with the GOAT debate. But I do like LeBron. Just in terms of all time, I think LeBron, I'd have to pick LeBron. So it's good that you're on this side with us.
I'm barely there. Your brother's about to push me out of it.
Talk to me about you just over the fence. We need to nurture and love this man. What would push you back over the edge, Andrew?
I would say if he doesn't get one more ring, but he's coming to the end of his career, which I don't know if that's gonna be possible. But I would say, there ain't no arguing. LeBron's the GOAT, bro. There's nothing I can think of that can like push me back over the edge. I mean, he has the most points in NBA history. He's already 10,000 club. He's been to X amount of All-Star, X amount of All-NBA, all defensive, But I feel like he's at a point in his career where he doesn't have to prove anything anymore.
Nope.
But
we could have a whole separate podcast about our top 10s and how they look. Because regardless of what you think about the GOAT debate, if you do not have LeBron James and Michael Jordan at the 1 or 2, I don't know what you're talking about. People throw Kobe in. The only exception to that is when people put Kobe at their 1, and I'm like, you're a special breed and there's a lot of you that do that where they put Kobe at the 1. Kobe's my GOAT. And I'm like, okay, I'll accept that because I don't.
Hot take, Kobe ain't even top 5.
No, Kobe's not even in my top 10 at the moment. But I get the sentiment of them putting him at number 1 because of what he means to them, stuff like that. That's a whole different video. Kobe not being top 10. Yeah, if he's not top 5 for me. I have my 5 been locked down, but he's probably 9 or 10. It's close. I need to it's been a minute since I've refigured mine, but this is a completely different segment. We will talk about this another day. I just want to end on we will be talking about our top 10 maybe another time. This is a good fuel to the fire. But for me, dude, you talk about Kobe and the Larry Bird killer. Larry Bird won 3 straight MVPs, dog. Kobe only won 1, and he let Steve Nash win 2 on his watch. And Steve Nash is averaging freaking 16 points a game. So, that's why Kobe did some great stuff, but individually, bruh, doesn't stack up. He played with Shaq. Okay, he got 5 rings. I didn't even want to go there with if you didn't play with Shaq. That's not where I'm going to go because that's not what happened. I want to talk about what happened. What happened was he only has 1 MVP. And he had people talk about everyone got a ring on LeBron's watch. Dude, everyone freaking won an MVP and a ring on Kobe's watch. That's my whole thing.
I know, but that Steve Nash one was very controversial.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But it's like, if you're just better than him, people could say the thing about LeBron. Anyways. I'm just saying, older guys Larry Bird had that dog in him. It'd be 3 straight freaking Jokic is basically doing that right now. He might get 4 and 5 years, and that's nuts. So, anyways, I've got a lot of
Hey, I gotta say this. I gotta say this real quick. Shout out John Henson, bro.
John Henson.
He came to my mind the other day, and I was like, man, John Henson.
Bucks center legend.
Bucks legend, bro. And Spencer Hawes too. I was thinking about Spencer Hawes.
That's my guy. That's my guy on the freaking Clippers, bro.
And bro, I was actually thinking about this too. I'm like, I don't know why, but I was thinking about like the mid-teen Suns teams, and I thought of John Lure. Like, bro, he's a sniper, bro.
That's a pull. Did you guys see the video of the?
Case closed.
Did you see the video of the guy where they're all sitting? There's a bunch of guys sitting in a circle. And they're all doing like naming polls, and one guy was like, "Okay, hear me out, Kyle Korver," and they started screaming at him, bro. They just were like, "What the freak?" So good.
I gotta hop off the call. I gotta go make some dinner with my roommate. So
Hey,
I'll see y'all tomorrow, though.
Tomorrow. Hey, homies, appreciate it coming on. We will talk about our top 10s. Do some homework. Lock in your top 10s next time we come. That's all we got for today. We out.